But brothers and sisters, good morning. I wanted to give you an update on my it's been about a month and a half, my review of my Wi-Fi Ranger alternative. The Wi-Fi Ranger is very expensive, $7.99. The reviews are great on their website, but when you get real life reviews from people, a lot of people have trouble. Look at the Dupreys. They've had issues with it. He spent 6 hours on tech support. Anyway, I think you can build that system a lot cheaper, and I've done that for got about 150 bucks in this system right now, and it's working pretty well. There's a lot of caveats to it. I didn't want to just put my first video out and say, hey, that works great, guys. I fixed the problem. It's not that smooth. There are some issues with it. I want to give you my real opinion of it and where I'm at currently. So I'm still tweaking it. But I will just say that I think it's good enough right now to drop my DSL connection. So why am I doing this in the first place? I'm in an RV park, and I can, I've got DSL service here through AT&T, but that's $65 a month, and it's really slow. We have trouble streaming and even uploading YouTube videos, which is a real pain. Well, I have a Comcast account. Comcast offers Xfinity wireless hotspots, so if you're around a neighborhood, they don't offer Comcast in my RV park, but the surrounding neighborhood does. So I've got these antennas that I've got by Ubiquiti, and they're called CPE devices, and I've been corrected on what that means many times. I think it's customer I can't remember, guys. I'm sorry. Chastise me in the comments. I'm sorry. I think it's customer provision equipment. Okay, I think that's it. Anyway, it acts as like your laptop, and it grabs Wi-Fi signal from a hotspot, and then it kind of like rebroadcasts it into your network, so you can repeat it through your home router. And so that's what I'm doing. I've got 2 of those on the roof of my RV, kind of jerry-rigged up there. And someone gave me a hard time saying, hey man, I wouldn't hire you for a job if you did installs like that. Well, this is just a proof of concept right now. I will secure it up there. As a matter of fact, there was some hard winds that blew through, and the next morning I'm like, why is my internet not working? And I was playing around with it. Go outside, the whole tripod is on the ground. So yes, I need to secure it, and I will use that electrical the tubing, so you can put the wire through. Anyway, I'll do it better than it is. But for right now, it's proof of concept, and it's working. I'm still working out the kinks in it. So what I've got on the roof right now is I've got 2 of the nano stations. One is the 2.4 gigahertz and one is the 5 gigahertz. And I wanted to try using both bands because you'll get different results based on, like, newer routers offer 5 gigahertz, but you'll have a lot more access to 2.4 gigahertz routers, the older ones. 2.4 gigahertz transmits farther. 5 gigahertz has faster bandwidth, but it doesn't travel as far. 2.4 gigahertz experiences a lot of interference because everyone is running on that frequency. But in my tests, it actually turns out that 2.4 gigahertz gives me a lot more options out there, and but there is interference. So I experience interference, it seems like in the evening. Maybe everybody's using their routers and it's adding like interference. So yes, so let me just say, yeah, there are some problems with this. So in the evening, like I mentioned, when there's a lot of traffic, and also when it rains, Wi-Fi experiences, like outdoor Wi-Fi experiences a lot of it's subject to a lot of like interference from environmental. I've heard even the moon affects it, and definitely wind when it blows a branch or something like that. I kind of have a branch that's in my line of sight for where I'm pointing one of these things, and so it does go out from time to time. So I can't rely on it solely as my internet connection. The whole plan here was to get 2 of these devices and load balance them. And so I bought that load balancer for $50. That thing has worked pretty good. It's got a few issues with it, but for the most part, it is load balancing, and I've figured out kind of a load balancing scheme so it it prefers my fastest connection, and only when that goes down, it'll fail over to the slower connection to act as a backup. Yeah, it works. So the problems with that thing, sometimes I'll notice, well, the CPU, and when you log into it, and you'll see there's a little graph, it shows you the CPU, it spikes a lot. So it's underpowered. Maybe that is causing some issues. It's kind of an older hardware spec on that device. I've had some issues where I can ping one of the nano stations on the roof, but I can't open the interface. And so, yeah, I lose connectivity. And so basically I have to reboot it from time to time. So at this point, am I going to use it as my sole internet provider? Yes, but it's not perfect. Like I said, sometimes when it rains, especially like the day before, like before it rains, I don't know why, maybe there's some electrical interference, but anyway, like I will have some connectivity issues. I usually get about like 10 megabit down, and but when it rains, it goes down to like a half megabit. So when you're streaming Netflix or something, or YouTube, it just gets really pixelated as it downgrades the bit rate so you can stream with it. Other problems are Hulu. And that's just because of Hulu, the way that they stream. Apparently, they send a constant bit rate. They don't downgrade the bit rate to compensate for slower connections like Netflix or YouTube does. So when you're watching Hulu, you get a lot of like buffering, and it'll just like break up, or it'll pause the image and buffer. So at this point, I'm actually discontinuing my paid DSL, my AT&T. There's a 30-day notice on the cancellation because I'm going through like a third-party provider called Sonic, and it takes AT&T that long, I guess. And then after the month, then I can mail it into the office. But so after that, then yes, right now it's been my sole internet for the last month and a half. So I did say that I wouldn't recommend it as your sole internet, and yeah, it works most of the time, but there are times when it doesn't. So what I've done is also, like the Wi-Fi Ranger, they have an option, the $7.99 option includes a cellular connection. And I think they have a cheaper one too. But anyways, yeah, so they fail over to cellular as well. And I'm looking into doing something like that. I have a little hotspot. Let me go get it. So I have a T-Mobile family plan. I purchased an extra line for $35. So I've got my smartphone, and I've got 4 people on it. Actually, one of them I consider it a modem, and so I use that SIM card. And I bought a little mobile hotspot device from Netgear. It's called the Unite Explorer, and I can put my SIM card in there. The funny thing is with this, I had a lot of trouble. The first one I ordered was locked to AT&T, so I started using it, and it was locked. It just said like locked or something like that. And so I went through this company that says they'll unlock them, sellcorner.com, and it was like $35 to unlock it. They took 2 weeks. Finally got back to me saying that they didn't have the code. And so, man, I had to order another one and return that one because it was sort of false advertising. I thought it said unlocked. It said it would work with T-Mobile, but it wouldn't. So anyway, so I got another one. And yeah, that one works pretty good. I will talk about this later, but the way that I'm using it right now is, so if it's raining and my internet goes down through the Wi-Fi system, then I will plug in a USB tether into this little mobile hotspot. It's got a tethering option, so that's great. Ultimately, I want to make the cellular connection load balanced. I want to make it part of my load balancer, and the devices that I've used are not working so well for that. It appears to me, after I've done some research, that T-Mobile is actually throttling that connection if it figures out that you've got like downstream devices or a router in between it. There's the way that it measures that, I guess, is through when you do like a trace route, it'll show you all the hops that it takes to get, like if I tried to trace route my nano station from my laptop, it would tell me, okay, first we're going through your home router, and then we're going through the load balancer, and then we're going up to the nano station. And each one of those hops adds a delay. Basically, they can figure out that it's taken so many hops to get to the end device, and I think that's what they're doing to determine if you're not just connecting to it directly through Wi-Fi, so that they can throttle, so people don't use this as like their main internet connection like I'm doing. So yeah, I just want to make that part of the load balancer. I'm looking at ways to do that. It seems like people, if you have used Linux, and they can rewrite the TCP/IP packets so that they can erase that delay that it's added in there. So maybe, because man, I could use it as my main internet connection, because the download is like, it's like 20 megabit download and 30 megabit up. That's insane. I mean, that's like a fast Comcast connection. But I just want to use it as a backup. So that's where we're at, guys. I just wanted to update you guys and let you know how it's going for anyone that seems to be following along. This is interesting to you. Like, I don't see how it could be for most people, but so if you typed in the search Wi-Fi Ranger alternatives and you found my videos, I just want to give you an update. This is the real world example of it. And it's working pretty good. Yeah, I think this is superior to the Wi-Fi Ranger because I have multiple Wi-Fi hotspots at this point. And once I figure out how to get cellular in there reliably, I think it'll work a lot better. So the greatest weakness to this system is a little bit of rain, and that sucks. But other than that, yeah, like I said, I'm canceling my DSL, guys. And so yeah, with this system, I'm not like cheating. You still need to have a Comcast account, okay? I'm just doing this so that I can get faster internet, because DSL sucks. Alright guys, thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, click the thumbs and leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. Also, if you have any ideas in this area, please let me know. I got some great comments last time. Someone turned me on to these other devices by Cradlepoint. That's right. Yeah, they're pretty pricey, but man, it looks like that it does the job, and it's probably way better suited for a mobile lifestyle. A lot less wires. So this is a lot cheaper, and I like to fiddle around with this kind of stuff, and it's been trials and tribulations, man, but I think I've got a system that's working pretty well for me at this point. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching. We'll talk to you guys later.